Well, we're only about 30 minutes behind. We're leaving early this morning. We're headed to the Georgia Bushcraft Fall Gathering. Let's get it.
That big white Ford, so you guys can walk down to do check-in?
Yeah, so we're parked here, walk down, check in, and then we can go in?
You got it, my friend.
All right, got it, thank you.
Hey, thanks. You guys enjoy.
All right, thank you. Oh, praise the Lord. We finally have made it. Now it's time for us to go down here and check in. Look who we found. Before we even got to check in, we got a celebrity.
Hey, brother. Right in here. Come on.
Andy, how you doing, bud?
Doing good, doing good.
Good. Andy, this is my wife, Sarah.
Hi.
Howdy, ma'am.
Sarah, this is Andy.
Pleasure to meet you.
He's the local celebrity, you know.
You know what? I'm not the only celebrity here. We actually have a lot of celebrities here. In fact, John Hogfoss from Naked and Afraid also is here. You know,
cool.
We've got Carly Fairchild from Alone here. And I'm pretty sure there's some other big celebrities here. So
awesome.
We got a lot of good people here.
Awesome, man. Well, we're gonna go get checked in so we can find where we're gonna camp. So
see you guys.
Take it easy, man. I like the little kettle. Hey, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good. We're here to check in.
Did you register online?
Yeah, she's got tickets.
Okay. What is the last name that the registration under?
All right. So we found us a spot, and we actually found a spot right on the tree line here. So that's going to be perfect for us. So we're going to go ahead and get some things unloaded because I did buy firewood up there, but it's a pretty good haul. So I'm going to unload a few things. Then we're going to run up there and get the firewood, come back here, and then we'll get everything set up. So I'm excited. We are excited to be here. This trip was made possible by the people that came to Wild Camp and by our patrons. And we really, really appreciate everybody. So we probably would not have been able to do this trip if it wasn't for that. Well, we got Sarah all set up. She's going to be nice and cozy in here. She's got this big blanket. She's also got this 30-degree sleeping bag, so she is going to be nice and warm in here. It's supposed to get down to about freezing tonight, so she should be nice and warm in here. Now we got to get the tarp set up. I think I'm going to wait till we get ready to go to bed to set up my hammock and everything, because it won't take but a second. That way it's not kind of in the way of us moving around and being in camp here. So now we got to get the tarp set up, and I'm about ready to go walking around up here and talk to some people. So finish getting us set up and we can go. All right, well, we are all set up. I think this is going to work out pretty good. So I did go ahead and decide to set the hammock rack up because Sarah can still get in and out through here and just kind of throw the hammock off to the side for now. And I think we're all set up. I'm happy with the way things have turned out on this thing. So I think now it's time to go up here and check some stuff out. So it's about 4 o'clock on Friday at the Georgia Bushcraft Gathering. And as you can see, this place is already packing up. If you didn't get here already, you're gonna have a hard time finding a place to camp because it's pretty full. So we are headed up now, see what they got up here. Let's go check it out. We got the Simple Shot guys here. Walk down this way.
Making the rounds.
Here we got the Badger Claw guys.
Hey,
what's up, man? Good to see you.
Good to see you again.
Yep. So,
how's things, everything going, Sean?
Doing real good, man. Real good. Yep. How are y'all doing? Doing good?
No complaints whatsoever.
Awesome, man. You
great time here.
Got some nice stuff as always.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Try to mix it up a little bit each time.
Yeah. Very cool. Dry Fox Show. Merino wool hiking socks. Nice. Some little cold handle skillets.
Everybody.
How are you?
I was like, hey, you brushed your nose?
How are you? So there's already classes going on and stuff like that. I didn't sign up for any classes today. I've got a couple classes I signed up for tomorrow. But yeah, there's classes going on up here. There's tons of vendors. So I thought there was a lot of vendors in the spring, but there is a ton more vendors today. And so we'll go through and just kind of skip around and try to touch base with as many of the vendors as we can, and just kind of see what everybody's got going on up here. There's a lot to take in. So we're at the Wazu Tent here. Got some cool stuff going on here. How's it going, man?
Doing well, doing well.
Doing well? You doing pretty good already?
Yeah, I mean, we've been out here every year for, I don't know, probably pushing close to a decade now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good
Very cool.
Every time. We come
Awesome.
out here as much for the classes as we do for selling stuff.
Oh yeah, for sure. Got a lot of cool stuff here. So, if I had to put you on the spot, what is the one thing that, if you're going to sell something to somebody from this tent, what's the one thing that most people are going to gravitate towards?
At this event, the fire starter necklaces.
Yep.
So,
that's just what I just told you that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, these are so popular here, but we use ceramic as our ferro rod scraper. When it hangs on your neck, it's a nice decorative pendant.
Yep.
But you can slide the ferro rod off. There's different ways you can lock it in place, but you can then
Very cool.
start it on, like,
Now how much?
on fire.
Now how much is one of those cost?
These are $34, and
Okay.
then we've got whetstones as well. So those
Awesome.
are made in the U.S. But yeah, we got them in white and black, depending on your preference.
Very cool.
But that's one of our novel little items. I think my personal favorite is the belt, though.
Yeah. Oh, that's the cash belt.
Yep.
Okay, cool. Awesome, man. Well, thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
I'm over here at the Tribe tent, and these caught my eye. Look at these little kooksas, however you say that. But look, it's got this pattern on the inside of it. So how was that done? Do you know?
It's hand painted one dot at a time.
Really?
Yep.
That is freaking
you
awesome.
Use them, they're hot, cold. You just can't put them in the microwave. You can't put boiling water.
Right.
But they're triple shellac, so people use them. It's been one of our big sellers.
Wow, that's awesome.
We have about 43 craftsmen from 18 different countries that make handmade items.
Yeah.
That's what we do.
That's so awesome. Yeah, I love these things right here. That is cool. Well, thank you.
Thanks.
Well, here we are at the Tough Possum Gear tent. Hey, how are you? Do you mind if I get you on video?
No, go ahead.
So, my name is Sean with Rewild Outdoors. So, Jayberry sent us a bunch of stuff for our wild camp this year. And we really, really appreciate it. And we just wanted to stop by and say thank you in person.
You're welcome.
And if you'll extend that to him for us and all of y'all, because I know y'all all do it together. So it was really awesome what you guys did, and it really helped us out. So.
Good. I'm glad to. We love helping people.
Yeah.
And it's a way we can do that.
Yeah, it was very awesome. So I'm gonna have to pick me up some stuff because I ended up giving all the stuff away this time. I couldn't keep anything, so I'm gonna actually have to get something for myself this time. So I think here, that's what I want right here.
Sit back.
All right, so we have made it over to the legendary Joe Flowers tent.
Hello.
So Joe, what you got going on in here?
Well, I'm not selling anything. I'm just kind of showing off stuff that we do to try and entice people to come to the jungle or learn more about machetes and
you
stuff
do
like that.
expeditions and stuff, right?
Yeah. It's I just like people to go out and have fun with knives.
Yeah.
And as long as my wife lets me, it's a really good time. So I'm showing off beautiful knives over here, and of course some awesome HCO Strops boiled peanuts.
Yeah.
If you guys want some. And Georgia Bushcraft is really interesting because I get to meet all sorts of different people, like yourself, Rewild, and all that stuff too. So
yeah, very cool, man. Well, I appreciate your time. I know you're busy running around here.
How do I get in contact with you? Are you
on
Instagram?
Yeah,
YouTube?
Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, all under Rewild Outdoors. So
smash that subscribe button, whatever you guys need. And if you guys want to go out to the jungle or have any machete questions, let me know. Bushcraft Global.
See you.
Sorry, bushcraftglobal.com. There, you guys get to look at my shirt.
Awesome.
And all that fun stuff too. But keep an eye on this channel. It's gonna be awesome.
Appreciate it, buddy. Thank you so much. All right, we got the Grail tent here. This is the Holy Grail tent.
Holy Grail.
Anything that you could want. Look at this.
Or drink. A little filter for you.
You filter it out, huh? That's awesome. Oh, look at that. A little bag. All the titanium stuff. Nice. Very cool, man.
New titanium filter.
That's the new one? Very cool. Awesome. Got the Pathfinder stuff. Nice. I appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Well, we wandered around up there and saw what we could see for today. But it's time to go back down here and find something to eat. I'm hungry. So I think we're gonna wander down here and make us something for dinner. And then just call it a night, and we'll see what we can see in the morning. Well, we went back down and hung out for the raffle, and we didn't win anything, but everybody still had a good time. But it's cold, so we're gonna get these hot dogs and sausages cooked up, and I think it's time to put on some warm clothes and get ready to hit the sack, because I was up late last night and up early this morning. So it's about time to crash out. That's good. That's a good dinner. Get me some warmth inside me, warm me up. Really simple. A couple sausages, some mustard. That's a good dinner. Coffee. So it was a chilly night last night. It got down cool enough to have some frost out here on the car and stuff this morning. I slept good last night. That was the first night actually sleeping in the hitch mount hammock setup, and it worked out great. So I'm really happy about that. And Sarah said she slept good last night, and she slept in the back of the car there with all her stuff and stayed good and warm.
My hand warm.
She's got bought some little battery powered hand warmers, and she used those things and said that they kept her good and warm. So that's cool. So I think it's about time for me to get some breakfast going, and then I've got a class I think at 10 that I've got to go to, so I'm gonna actually have to get the breakfast going and get going here pretty quick. So looking forward to that. I've only picked a couple classes to go to today, but I think they're gonna be cool, so I'm looking forward to it.
That thing ain't got no front screen here.
Put some extra cheese on these. I'll put cheese in the eggs, but we'll put some extra cheese on the wraps too.
Everything I touch is like soup.
Put you some bacon on here. Alright, looks like you got some good breakfast wraps. Alright, so I did mine a little different. Sarah wanted hers on the regular wraps, but I did these tomato basil, 0 net carb, sun-dried tomato basil wraps, and I like the little bitty ones. I think it tricks my mind into thinking I'm having more of these wraps. So if instead of having 2 regular size wraps, I can have 8 small wraps. Not really gaining anything, I know. But don't that look pretty good? Oh yeah, that's good. Breakfast was good, but it's time to go to a class. So we are headed up to the Woodsman's Navigation class with Craig Caudill, and looks like it's going to be a good class, so pretty excited about that. Oh yeah, everybody's already up and around. It's a cool morning. Still got campfires going. Well, he's got a good group of people here waiting for this class. Should be good.
Well, welcome. My name's Craig Caudill. I'm the director of Nature Reliance School out of Kentucky. I've been engaged in doing the skills that I'll be sharing with you for my lifetime. I'm 54. My school was started in 2006. We do an incredible amount of training for individuals just like you all, as well as we have contracts with the federal government, for the United States military, and federal law enforcement, state law enforcement, first responders, all across the board. So thank you for being here. I really appreciate it. All right, so how many of you all here use a GPS? Great. How many of you all feel comfortable using a map and compass? How many of you feel like you would be lost if you didn't have map and compass and GPS? You don't know what to do for direction. Okay, great. You're in the right spot then. So I brought some compasses so we can talk about compasses because they're a useful tool. But I really want to spend our time out there looking at stuff. There's a lot of stuff that I can't show you here because they don't have to be here that were mentioned in the description, like butterflies, and there's not a rainbow here, but there's things that I can point out about it that'll help you. What generated interest in this topic was my children's book, and I have a booth right over here at the end of the L.T. Wright booth, fourth one down, Nature Reliance School. You can come over and look at my children's book, Secret Signs of Nature. But I wrote a children's book last year, and it's full of this stuff that we're going to talk about today. And what ended up happening when I wrote this children's book was, and I've written 8 books, and that's my first children's book, but what ended up happening was people saying, man, I learned a lot reading that book to my kids. And so I thought, well, maybe I need to share that information a little bit more. That's how we got started with this information, maybe as a course. And so that's what I'm going to do with you. All right. So, first question. You got to close your eyes for me. Close your eyes for me. Point north. Don't open your eyes. Not bad. That's not bad. All right. You can open your eyes. You don't have to keep pointing. Nobody saw where you were pointing. That was really good, actually. I usually get a whole lot of this, but I had a whole lot of people pointing the right direction, which is fantastic. So, second question then. How many of you all believe, with a show of hands, the sun rises in the east and sets in the west? Raise your hand. It sounds like a trick question because it is. It doesn't. The sun does not rise in the east and set in the west, ever. It never does. The sun sits there and does nothing. Okay? And this is the reason I share it this way, is because understanding that is really important for what I'm going to share with you today. Okay? A lot of people have a misunderstanding about shadow stick method and stuff of that nature, which we'll talk about. But if they understood that the sun sits there, and we, sitting on the earth, do about 3 different things. We're actually rotating on an axis, we're rotating on an elliptic, and we're tilted. That's the big one that most people miss. That tilt really gets us when we start thinking about direction, utilizing natural navigation and things out here that we're going to be able to look at. So, can everybody in the back hear me okay? Doing good? All right. So, that tilt is going to have a huge role to play in what it is that we're going to talk about. So, for example, the shadow stick method. How many of y'all have ever heard of the shadow stick method? Yeah, good. It's only accurate for east-west 2 days out of the year. The rest of the time, it's off. It can be off as much as 28 degrees the rest of the year. Okay? 28 degrees, I'm sorry you all, is enough to get you lost, like easy, right? But it's 100% accurate every day at noon, which nobody ever talks about, which blows my mind. I'll tell you where I think some of this information came from and why it's still prevalent around us. It was put in a survival manual about 50 years ago, and it stuck, where you stick a stick in the ground You put a rock at the end of that stick. We're going to use you as the rock. Stand there on that stick. Stand there at the end of that stick. And we'll let the sun continue to move across the sky. And after it moves across the sky, there's going to be a shadow cast over there, and you're going to be demonstrating for me and stand right there. And where those two people are standing is an east-west line. Okay? You'll read that in nearly every survival manual out there except mine. Okay? Because on the equinoxes, that will be 100% accurate. And every other day of the year, it is increasingly inaccurate the further you go along, all the way up to 28 degrees off. Okay? But here's what we also know. The sun for us in the northern hemisphere is in our southern sky. Everybody cool with that and understand that? So at midday, which does not always happen at 12 o'clock, it actually ranges from 11:30 to 12:30, but it's close enough to 12, let's just call it 12, okay? That's midday. But at midday, our sun that is on my back right now is in our southern sky. At midday, it's at its highest point. So if it's in our southern sky, and at midday it casts a shadow, it's actually going to be a pretty short shadow because it's high. What's that line going to be? North. Casey told me when I was going to teach his classes that the people who come to it are smart. Are you all smart?
Yes.
You all come to class yesterday. I have a method, right? What'd you say? North? It's north-south line every day at midday because it's at its highest point and it's in our southern sky. That's going to give you a north-south line every day of the year, and it's going to be 100% accurate. Everybody with me so far?
Well, I've already learned something.
You start looking at these trees, like, I'm a squirrel hunter, okay? I always hunt on the sunny side of a beech tree or the sunny side of a oak tree because that's where most of the fruit are going to be. When I can set up in the dark and know where the sun's going to come up and know where the nuts are going to be, and when the squirrels come to start cutting and checking everything, they're going to be on that side of the tree, and I'm just sitting there waiting on them. Okay, so it's a way that I take, you know, natural navigation or Woodsman Navigation, understanding the sun is the anchor and it's telling us everything that I need to know out here and how it's going to grow, and that sets me up for success. How many of y'all have ever set a squirrel pole up, for example, in a survival class? We do that in our survival classes. You set up a squirrel pole in a survival class, it's like building a squirrel superhighway. You know, the squirrels see this thing, they've got to go check it out, set it up on the sunny side of the tree. When you set it up on the sunny side of the tree, squirrels are going to come on that side to cut nuts and look for nuts, and when they see that thing, they're going to come down and check it out. It's like they're magnetized to it. Okay.
Wow, so that was a lot of knowledge. Craig Caudill, Nature Reliance, unbelievable. So hey, what's up guys? Editor Sean here. In editing this video, I realized that I have way more Craig Caudill Nature Reliance video than I can actually use in here, and I don't want to lose it. There's too much information there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to edit a companion video to this one that will be the whole Nature Reliance Woodsman's Navigation class that Craig put on out there at Georgia Bushcraft. I'm going to edit that into its own little video. If you'll go into our playlist, look for bonus videos, I'll drop it in there. Definitely go watch that if you're into Woodsman's Navigation. It's worth it. There's a ton of knowledge there. And check out Nature Reliance School, and definitely check out their website, naturereliance.org. They have a lot of awesome information on there, class schedules, and some free videos you can check out. So go check those out and look for that companion video to this one in the bonus video playlist. Let's get back to the video. Now, I'm going to go grab my chair real quick because we have another class to go to. So there are so many different classes that you can take at this event. But the fact is, they fill up super fast. And so by the time I got to pick classes, a couple of the classes I wanted were already full. But there are a ton of people putting on demonstrations, classes, and stuff here. If you've never been to the Georgia Bushcraft spring or fall gathering or camp out, you should definitely make it. Put it on your bucket list. Make the trip it's definitely worth it. There's so much to see and do. It's unbelievable. We're gonna go up here, check out this next class, see what the guys got to say.
So this is really popular for a couple different reasons. It features very little equipment, so you don't have a lot of moving parts, especially if you don't really intend on catching fish, or if you're not really going on a fishing trip. If you're backpacking or if you're canoeing, you know, you're talking about adding something like this to your kit. So the rod, when they're collapsed, they're usually about 14 inches, maybe 12 inches, and they're around 2 ounces. These are carbon fiber. So some of the negative to Tenkara is because you don't have a reel, you're kind of limited on how far you're going to cast this thing.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So if you've got a 10-foot reel, you see my tippet here. So the tippet is, goes in X. So this is essentially your brake right here. So this thin line right here is going to be what stops your rod from breaking, because there is no drag.
So that means that line will break.
That's your breaking point, yeah. Because if you were to put a heavy line on here, heavier than what's intended, and you get into too big a fish, you definitely can break your rod.
So what poundage do you want that line to break?
They're rated from the factory. Most of the time it's an X. So it's like a 5X tippet or a 4X tippet or a 3X tippet. So typically it's like it's the poundage, and around 8 pounds is what a 5X is. That's what's normal. I have bought 3X. I've got one rod that came with 6X, and I was losing fish all the time. I didn't know why, but it was because it was the lighter. So the advantages obviously is the lightweight. So you're talking about carrying a 2-ounce rod with you. You're talking about no reel that can break. You're talking about being able to change your line in and out. The disadvantage, of course, is you've got no drag. So if you get into a fish that's bigger than you should, your tip's going to break or something's going to give. The other disadvantage is you're only going to be able to cast these things so far. So there we go. So you're kind of limited. A lot of that has to do with your rod length as well. So you're going to have to get your feet wet if you want to cast further. You can choke back on the rod too. That's another option to change your casting length. But you've only got so far with one of these things. Now, there are certain rods. This is one of them. So this rod actually has got a zoom to it as well. So you saw this rod, these rods collapse down like I mentioned. And this one is fully extended right now, but it's got like an extra foot it can go.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So the zoom rods never get as small as the regular rods do. So that's kind of the disadvantage to a zoom. Most of the pure backpacking rods don't have that zoom feature, just because the rod can't collapse past the zoom. So, it's like carrying 2 rods with you. It's like carrying a 10-foot rod and a 12-foot rod, or a 12-foot rod and a 14-foot rod. So, let's see here.
So generally the 12 and 14 or 10 foot is just for your distance, or is there a benefit for a shorter versus a long?
Compact, packability as well. So this is a zoom rod here. So this one's going to zoom out. So that's not even the rod extended. That's in your zoom feature.
Okay.
And this one is not a zoom rod. You see the pack distance. That's a pretty big deal. So if you're trying to backpack this or carry this, this is a 10-foot rod. I think this is a 12 to 13 foot. So there's a little thread on the end of this, and this is called the Lillian. And that is it. That's what's holding your line on, is this Lillian. So to keep this tip is like about the size of a pencil lead. So these things are like really sensitive. And unlike a regular fly rod where you've got an eye, your line is physically attached to this. So you're gonna feel every single thing that fish does. Now, when you open these up, because this is such a sensitive part of the rod, you're going to want to collapse this and keep it inside the tube. As long as it's inside the tube, you're not going to break this thing off. As soon as it comes out of the tube, that's a really, really good way to break these. So whenever I pull one out, I just put my finger on the end of it. So with my finger on the end of this, the tip of the rod's protected, and I have access to my Lillian. Now this, we've already passed the lines around, so I've got a loop on the end of this. So that loop is going to attach to our Lillian using a girth hitch. So if you are familiar with any kind of knot that goes by the name of a lark's head as well,
Yeah.
it's about the simplest knot you're going to tie. So when you start to get into a bigger fish than you anticipated, and this starts to get more and more into a U shape, that's how you're going to start breaking a rod. So the action that's going to be taken when you catch a big fish or any fish that's kind of playful, first thing you're going to do, set the hook, and then you're going to push the butt of the rod towards the fish. So that's going to maintain the arc and not let the fish take advantage of it like that. So try to keep it in that power zone. It's going to be a lot better off landing the fish, and it's going to be a lot better off for your rod and stuff. You guys want to swap rods up? They are drastically different from one rod to the next. Excellent. Try to keep your rod up a little bit. Think of it like a short motion. And when you stop, that's what causes your line to roll over. Okay. So it's the stop that stops it soon. It gets good. So you're just staying out of the wind a little bit. There we go. Same concept. Same little wrist snap. Less rod breakage.
So that class with Jamie was pretty cool. I've tried some tenkara before, but he answered some questions that I had, and it really kind of brought my mind around a little bit on that tenkara. Now we are going to do the battle box challenge. So what we've got to do is we've got a bunch of like 6 different locations we have to go around and get a card punched, and then we will enter it in a drawing, and they're going to give away a bunch of prizes. They gave away a ton of stuff last night. And then the main prize is a year subscription to BattleBox, which is, if you've ever looked that up, that's a huge prize. So we're going to run around here, get our cards punched, and then see if we can win something tonight. That would be really cool. Hey man, can I touch your beanie?
Yeah, you can touch my beanie. It's right up there if you can reach it.
Maybe. I don't know if I can. I did it. Awesome.
It's useful in urban areas, the night priority tweeter.
Rewild Outdoors. And we had an event earlier this year, or earlier in October, called Wild Camp in Florida. And you guys sent us some stuff to give away, and we just wanted to come by here and say thank you in person.
Well, that's awesome, man.
And
I'll tell everybody in the office,
yeah.
This is my son Jordan. Make sure you know him.
Yep.
It's nice to meet you.
It was nice to meet you, and we really appreciate it.
Help you guys out.
Absolutely.
Keep
and
us in mind when you have classes.
Yep.
Anytime we can, we'll always help out.
Yeah, well, we really appreciate it. All right, now we're gonna come here to the Smoky Mountain Knife Works booth. Check their stuff out.
Howdy, y'all.
Hey. We would like to get punched.
We can do that too.
Very cool. Awesome, thank you.
Thank you.
Is this where we come to get our ticket punched?
You can, yes sir.
All right. There's one for me and one for her. Appreciate it. Thank you. Oh, that is cool. That's actually a good idea. Glow in the dark LED collar. That's not a bad price for it either. Okay, so you guys know that I like to meet other YouTubers and stuff like that. So we have met Creek Camper here now. What is your name?
Rodney Smith.
Rodney.
Creek Camper, yeah.
So, hey buddy, how you doing? So this is Rodney, Creek Camper on YouTube. So I've subscribed to his channel. He's got some really good stuff. And what do you guys do for your channel?
I just do anything outdoors. I like to do a lot of bushcraft cooking and just anything outside.
Unfortunately, my camera went dead while I was talking to Rodney, so I didn't get the whole interview with him, but Rodney's got some good content under Creek Camper on YouTube. Go check him out. Well, I got some chili in the Dutch oven cooking. And it's kind of hard to cook in that little Dutch oven and get all the measurements right. So I think I put a little too much tomato sauce in there, but I think it'll be okay. But we got it kind of simmering right now. I got the fire going, so we'll have some coals. And then in a little while, we're going to head up. They're going to do the raffle and everything again. So I thought it'd be good to go ahead and get it basically done, and then before we go to the raffle, I'll just set that thing in those coals and let that Dutch oven keep simmering in the coals while we're going up there. And should be some good chili when we get back. Not going to be quite as cold tonight. I think it's only going to be around lower 40s, mid 40s tonight, so shouldn't be too bad, but that chili should be pretty good. So looking forward to that. Right now, I'm just kicked back, relaxing. Did a lot of running today, running around, going to different classes and talking to people and stuff like that. So I'm in a kickback, relaxing kind of mood. Well, it's that time. It's raffle time here at Georgia Bushcraft Fall Gathering. So we've already walked through, did our ticket drop, and everybody else is doing it. As you can see, there's still a line of people. That line was way back there earlier, and we stood in that line. These vendors really did give out a bunch of stuff here, so pretty awesome.
Get warm, because this one's definitely going well into the night. We got a lot of stuff to give away, and we're still not through dropping those tickets. Fabulous time here at Georgia Bushcraft Fall 2023. That's what I thought. I wanted everybody to take a moment. Just take a moment. Let's calm down. Don't talk. Don't speak. I want everybody to be silent. And I want everybody to look to your left. And now look to your right. This is the largest crowd we've ever had at a Georgia Bushcraft event. Give yourselves a giant hand. We are so happy to welcome each and every one of you here and hope every one of you's learned something, made new friends, and had a fantastic time this weekend. We'd like to take a moment to thank all of our vendors, all of our sponsors who are making this possible for us. Thank them so much for all of their time, their dedication to our organization, and all this free stuff they're about to give to you this evening. Thank you so much, vendors and sponsors. We got a lot of great Tough Possum stuff. Thank you, Tough Possum gear. Jay Berry's dad, is there any baby yet on that? No baby yet? Mrs. Tough Possum is due any time now, guys, with their first child, but we're still waiting on the word. She's overcooked at this point, so it's any time now. Okay, guys, first Tough Possum is going to be ticket number 9355. 9355. If you're going to be 50 miles away, you got to go, you got to go, you got to go. Let's keep it moving, let's keep it moving. That's what I'm talking about. Who's our next winner, Mr. Casey? How about ticket number 8625? 8625. There we go. He's deaking, he's dunking, he's dodging, he's diving, he's dropping his tickets, but he's recovered and he's coming to see you. Our first Misete winner. Practice blade safety, everybody. Practice blade safety. Let's see how many children we can give away one of these things to.
So it is pretty amazing
get a prize today. Here you go, Kevin
how
Bowen.
much stuff Battle Box has donated. We've been here
Okay,
for
how about
probably 15
Chris
minutes
Bailey?
with them just calling
Chris
people's names.
Bailey.
And they gave away a
Chris,
bunch
are
of
you
stuff
there?
last
Wave to
night,
me, Chris.
and
I
they're
need
giving
to
a
know
bunch
you're
of
here,
stuff tomorrow
Chris.
night. It is
Chris
pretty
Bailey, are you in the
amazing
building? Are you in
how
the
much
house? Are
Battle
you in the
Box
field?
donated for this.
Chris Bailey.
Good on them. Well, no such luck this weekend, but we had a really great time. They gave away a ton of stuff, and it was pretty awesome. Now I think it's time to head back to camp and get some dinner. We haven't eaten yet, so I'm ready for it. All right, it's about that time. Got my Evan Williams. Tonight we got some Diet Dr. Pepper Cherry. And it is time for a mixed drink. Cheers. Oh man, that's good. I needed that. So we got some chili. I don't know if you can see that. We got some chili and some little Frito scoops. And I didn't do so good on the chili tonight, but it's okay. It's edible. Tastes kind of like spaghetti with beans in it. But oh well, it'll be good anyway. Spaghetti with beans in it and Frito scoops.
Oh man, he talking about like you got a bad season, yeah. He said, but you gotta do me a favor.
I'm so tired. I can't walk back here. And I had to get my line. She does, she did new med. And home health stuff and stuff. No, that's what it was. Worried about me. She told me to love you.
Coffee. Well, good morning. I slept really good last night in the hammock. This little hammock, this little hammock hitch setup is really working out well. It's just the right tension for me to be able to fairly easily hop back up out of it, because for you guys that hammock camp, you know that's kind of a tough thing, is swinging out of your hammock sometimes, especially big people like me. Makes it a little tough to get out of a hammock, but the tension is just right on this thing. I don't really have any tension in the back of my knees or anything like that. I don't have a ridge line on it, which is nice because a lot of times the ridge line kind of gets in your way. But yeah, I mean, the thing is working out great. And if you watch the build video of that, I'll link it up here if you haven't watched it. it was kind of just fly by the seat of my pants. I just laid it out and it just worked out perfect. So I couldn't ask for anything better. I love the way the thing has turned out, and it's worked perfect this weekend for what we wanted. We have had a really good time wandering around up here, meeting great people, talking to a lot of great people. I've met several subscribers, which is really cool. That's always really cool. If you ever see me out anywhere, don't be shy. Come up and say hey to me. I'd love to meet you. But that was a lot of fun. And then just checking out all the little vendors and buying stuff, and then taking the classes was cool. And all in all, I've had a great time. I know Sarah's had a good time too. So it's about that time though to start getting everything wrapped up around here and off on a new adventure. So I'm gonna finish drinking my coffee and probably make a little something for breakfast, but I think it's about time to get wrapped up. Well, we figured we'd go pass through one more time, see if there was a couple more dollars we could spend before we pack up. Hate to waste the opportunity. All right, we are here at the Knives by Nuge tent. How are you doing today?
Hi.
Good. So I follow you on Instagram. I'm Rewild Outdoors. So just wanted to stop by your tent real quick and take a look at your knives and stuff.
Sure.
They have some beautiful knives. One thing I like about your knives is you have like a ton of assortment of colors.
Yes.
That's
Not afraid of color.
Yep, that's awesome. Like, look at that. That is an awesome looking little knife. Man, Knives by Nuge. Appreciate it. All right, so we've made our way up here to Brodigham Expeditions tent. You got to check this stuff out.
I'm Pete Brodigham from Brodigham Expedition Works, and I'm a U.S.-based manufacturer up in Iron, Minnesota. I am a sole proprietor. I make everything you see here. I make titanium long spoons, sporks, spatulas, personal camp gear. I make titanium tweezers, high-strength titanium G-hooks. I also make a patented pending bow saw. So this is a titanium bow saw that folds down. Super lightweight, lightest on the market, strongest on the market, packs down into a little sleeve. I also have a full-size camp gear for canoe camping, car camping, and then some wood stove equipment as well. So.
Very cool. So you're from, where was it now?
Iron, Minnesota. So
Minnesota.
Yeah,
that's a long ride to come down to this event.
Yeah, I'm an hour north of Duluth, Minnesota. So
very, very, very cool.
My county reaches all the way up to the Canadian border. So.
Wow. So you got a lot of cool stuff here, though. How long have you been doing this kind of stuff?
I've been doing, this is my third trade show. I've been in manufacturing with this business for 15 months.
Oh, wow. So you're
super new.
Yep, very, very awesome. So. Alright guys, so as you can see, we are all packed up and ready to get out of here. We have had a wonderful time. This is an awesome event, and if you ever get a chance, buy yourself a ticket and make your way down here to Georgia to the Georgia Bushcraft camp down here. They do a spring camp out and fall gathering, and it was an absolute blast. So if you enjoyed this video, give it that big thumbs up for us. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button. You can follow us on Instagram and on Facebook. Appreciate you guys watching. I'll see you next week.